June 6, 2025. Dundy, the calm voice behind the YouTube channel Dundy Hikes, had planned for another tranquil solo trek through California's Angeles National Forest. Known for his peaceful landscape footage and quiet commentary, he never expected to document something this harrowing. That morning, he left camp near Islip Saddle, hiking a short road section before reconnecting with the Pacific Crest Trail. The trail was familiar, the air still, but something didn't sit right.
Days since this incident happened, and I thought I would try to give you a more coherent account of what happened than just the videos show. And I'll show you the videos after I finish talking. There's nothing graphic in there, so no need to worry about that. So anyway, I broke camp at Islip Saddle that morning, and
As he neared the Javis Memorial Picnic Grounds, he spotted a lone vehicle awkwardly backed into the lot, its rear tires perched unnaturally against an embankment. It was odd enough that Dundy paused to film it, noting aloud, "This is weird. I guess I'll never know what's going on here." Yet as he walked away, something tugged at him. A rope. Tied to the vehicle, vanishing over the edge. His gut said, "Turn back." He did. Setting his pack aside, Dundy crept to the slope and looked down. What he saw would haunt him forever. Dangling from the end of the rope was a man, lifeless, neck caught in a noose. Dundy froze. Then, in a desperate reflex, he called out, once, twice, hoping it was a terrible prank. Silence answered. He rushed back to his campsite, where he finally had signal, and used his InReach device to contact the camp host.
Do you ever see anything and just think to yourself, what the heck is going on here? And unfortunately, knowing that you will never know. Well, my curiosity got the better of me, and I dropped my pack so I could shuffle down and look over the edge. And now
Soon, a helicopter swept overhead, unable to land. Ground units arrived. Fire. Police. Homicide. Dundy wasn't a suspect, but he was now a witness. He remained on scene as investigators tried to piece together the man's final moments. Later, in his video, Dundy's voice trembled not from fear, but grief.
It looks like the sheriff's department sent a helicopter out, and I know they're sending ground units too. I don't know if the helicopter can land anywhere here though. Looks like the fire department showed up, so the chopper is moving on to the next thing.
One viewer captured it best. Such an unbelievably sad thing to experience on the trail. If nothing else, thanks to you, his body can now be cared for with some dignity. What Dundy found wasn't just a body. It was a painful reminder that even in the wild, the quietest trails sometimes carry the loudest echoes of human suffering. And this time, the forest didn't offer peace, only sorrow. On August 4th, 2023, Dan from Dan's Van Life set out to enjoy what he thought would be a routine day in Colorado's backcountry. His plan was simple: edit a video in the park, sip some iced coffee, and later find a quiet forested spot to spend the night. The rain came and went, but Dan remained unfazed. By evening, he had secured a secluded camping area, fed his loyal dog Cassie, and enjoyed some leftovers. The vibe? Pure peace.
An iced coffee from McDonald's. Cassie got kicked out of McDonald's. Worker wasn't happy that I brought her in, but I couldn't care less what a McDonald's worker thinks. Get all the way up in between those trees, but it's gonna be more unlevel. So we're thinking we're just gonna land it right at the entrance there, and nobody will think that they're gonna be pulling into the campsite either. It is past time for Cassie to eat.
But peace has a funny way of shifting. After dinner, Dan took a short stroll with Cassie to stretch their legs before settling in. As they returned to the van, a strange snort broke the silence. Looking through the trees, Dan spotted a massive black bear creeping toward his open van door. The animal was frighteningly close, so close it seemed ready to climb in. Without hesitation, Dan shouted, startling the bear. The creature froze, studied the situation, and slowly backed away into the woods.
Decided we're gonna do a little after dinner walk, take a walk up this road, see if maybe there's a better viewpoint of the mountain behind me, and just check it out. Kind of cool right off the bat. And he just made a scary noise. We're a bear. Holy shit, there's a bear right outside the van. Hey, bear. He's huge. He's huge. If I wouldn't have said something, he was gonna go in the van. If I wouldn't have hollered, hey bear, he was about to walk his way right into the van. Stay. Cassie, sit. Sit.
Dan's timing had been uncannily perfect. Had he returned just a minute later, the bear might have made itself at home inside the van, or worse. Cassie thankfully stayed calm. Dan's quick thinking and his dog's training likely prevented a terrifying situation from spiraling.
What are the odds of that the second I walk away, what are the odds that the second I walk away from a van, a bear just comes strolling in? What are the odds, dude? I could have stepped out the door right into his face. I could have went eye to eye with that thing. I heard a weird snort noise when I was walking up the trail and looked back and just barely saw him sliding behind the van, and I could see him through the...
Back inside the van, Dan sat with the weight of what had just happened. He replayed the what-ifs over and over. The idea of returning to a wrecked van or facing the animal head-on. It was a sobering reminder of how wild the wild can get.
A bunch of kids yelling. I think it's down at the campsite that I was at a couple nights ago, and the bear's moseying down the road towards them. It's weird. The other day I got a comment, somebody asking if it gets lonely in the van. And I said, not really, especially because I got this Dumbo with me all the time. And then like a couple days later, I was just kind of feeling weird one night, just chilling all by ourselves after a long day of editing, and I was not...
Reflecting on the day, one viewer noted how lucky Dan was to intervene just in time. Another marveled at the size of the bear, calling it huge. For Dan, it was a brush with danger he wouldn't soon forget, and a lesson in staying vigilant, no matter how calm the forest may seem. For a tiny nomad, a solo traveler documenting her cross-country journey to Alaska, a 5-day detour in Washington was supposed to be a much-needed breather. After driving over 3,000 miles in just a week, she paused her plans to wait for car parts and recharge in a rented off-grid cabin nestled deep in the woods. With lush greenery all around, the setting felt almost magical, at least at first.
Oh man. It is.
That evening, she enjoyed a healthy meal and finally stretched out in a real bed with a book in hand. But as dusk settled, the fairy tale atmosphere unraveled. Just 30 minutes into her reading, a loud knock echoed from the back of the cabin. Instantly tense, she scanned the windows, half expecting to see a bear. Nothing, just silence and trees. But something felt deeply off.
Just what my exhausted soul needed. Alright, and for dessert, we have a homemade tiramisu that I just... So cozy! I love it! Well, I've been laying in bed reading for like half an hour. And I just heard this like loud knock. It came from the back of my cabin. And it scared me to the point I immediately jumped up and started looking all around the windows to see if I could like see an animal. I was like looking for maybe a bear, because there is bear around here, but I couldn't see anything. I mean, I can only see out the front of my cabin, but I'm just feeling like...
What began as a peaceful escape turned into an anxious night riddled with unsettling details. A dusty, supposedly inactive security camera mounted on the porch caught her attention. Why was it still up if unused? Its eerie presence raised red flags. Then, there was the outdoor shower, completely exposed, no curtain, and oddly placed next to the porch. Though the property was labeled private, the close proximity to other cabins stripped away any sense of true solitude.
Definitely looks like it hasn't been used in a very long time, but it's like, why wouldn't they just take it off? Why is it there? It just adds to the creepiness of this place, in my opinion. I don't like it. I also just discovered there's a shadow.
Despite trying to shake the unease and make the most of her stay, the experience weighed on her. The very thing she'd sought, peace and stillness, was replaced by a sense of vulnerability she hadn't felt even while sleeping in remote spots during her travels. For many, it's the unknown that rattles us most. For a tiny nomad, the forest didn't need ghosts or creatures. Just a knock in the dark and a badly placed camera were enough to disturb the calm. On December 20th, 2024, Michael from the YouTube channel Mighty Mouse set out into the forest with his new puppy, Belle, for a peaceful winter camping trip. Known for his outdoor fitness content and motivational hikes, Michael expected nothing more than crisp air, starry skies, and the comforting crackle of a campfire. But as the sun dipped behind the trees, something else stirred in the woods, and it wasn't friendly.
Big orange thing, and then a little bell, and I don't think I'll really go that much in, but I'm hoping that there's water. If there's not water, we may have to go all the way down, but my pack is definitely pretty heavy right now. That's everything. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this the best I can with no shadow, but oh yeah, it does pick up there. So I got the fire.
After hiking in with a heavy pack, Michael found a cozy spot between trees and set up camp. The scene was perfect. Belle gnawed happily on her food. Michael built a fire, and the snowy forest offered a quiet backdrop. But that calm began to unravel after nightfall. First, faint howls echoed in the distance, likely coyotes, Michael assumed, harmless enough until they grew louder, closer. Belle began to act uneasy, and Michael, trying to shake off the creeping anxiety, focused on dinner under the stars. But the forest wasn't done yet.
Oh no, bro.
Suddenly, a chorus of howls shattered the night, cutting through the darkness just beyond the fire's glow. Michael froze. A pack of coyotes had closed in. Though attacks are rare, the fear of protecting his puppy in the middle of nowhere was very real. He clutched his flashlight, every rustle and snap of a twig twisting his nerves tighter. Running wasn't an option. Staying still, silent, and hoping the fire would deter them was the only choice. The howls returned once more, closer, more menacing. Minutes stretched into hours. He didn't sleep. He couldn't. That primal fear of being prey, of being watched, held him hostage until the first light of dawn.
Well, I feel like it's safe to say they're pretty close. It's not like super done. Probably done just enough.
By sunrise, Michael packed up fast and left. What began as a serene winter escape had become a chilling reminder. Nature's peace can turn on a dime. On January 3rd, 2024, Jonathan from the channel Happy Hippie Wild Living set off on what was supposed to be just another peaceful solo trek through the wilderness. Known for his upbeat energy, quirky commentary, and love of outdoor life, Jonathan had never experienced fear while filming, until this night.
Today I'm going to go find a bovie around this area somewhere. It'll be the third time I've stayed in a bovie. I've never had any guests, so third time's a charm.
His plan was to hike through the Scottish wilderness and spend the night at a remote hut called the White Lagan, far away from civilization. The air was cold, the woods silent, and everything felt like a typical adventure vlog, until the sun went down.
Scottish flag on it. Let's go see what it looks like. I've had people say I'm brave and ballsy for living this lifestyle, but there's nothing brave about it when it's doing something you love, so I don't agree with that. I do agree with doing things you're passionate about in life. You only live once. Life goes by pretty fucking quick, so get out there and do what you love. Well, I have made it to my home for the night, and it looks...
After settling in, Jonathan noticed a family briefly exploring the area. They exchanged a few words and moved along, leaving him alone in the hut. As night crept in, Jonathan cooked dinner, lit a fire, and began enjoying the quiet. But then, out of nowhere, he heard a knock. Thinking maybe the family had returned, he stepped outside, but no one was there.
2 little bags as well, so you can attach the straw to that, but I've not got to use... Oh, maybe this is the guests? There was no one there. I don't know if that's just some people fucking with me or something. I don't know if that's something they do, but I don't think it would be that family. It was just a dad and his daughter and son. Oh well, we'll see. It was just knocking on the door again, and then I went out, but there was no one there, so I don't know what's going on, but I've not heard of any haunted bovies or anything. I've never had weird shit. For fuck's sake. I just wanted a night. little Bobby night. If you've watched all my videos before, you know I don't do shit like this.
Moments later, another knock. Then again. He rushed out with his flashlight. Still no one. The pattern repeated. At first he assumed it was kids playing a prank, but as the knocks continued and shadows danced around the outside of the hut, a chilling realization began to settle in. There was something out there, and it wasn't playing games.
Maybe I just put my music on really loud and forget about it. Cameraman never dies, right? So it's been about an hour and a half since I last made a video, and I've just been doing what I said. I've had my music on loud, I've listened to Blink, some drum and bass, some reggae, and I'm doing what I came here to do, and that's have a good fucking night. So I'm going to join my time by this fire and have an amazing day tomorrow, back out in nature where I belong. So peace and love, good night. Good morning, had a bit of an experience last night, not really sure what was going on.
Jonathan, normally all smiles and laughs, began recording updates, visibly shaken. He cranked up his music, trying to drown out the unease. Eventually, the strange sounds stopped, and he managed to drift off to sleep. The next morning, he searched the area. No footprints, no campers, no evidence of anyone nearby. Still trying to rationalize what had happened, Jonathan brushed it off. But even his followers weren't convinced it was nothing.
But it didn't seem like that when I went outside. Couldn't really explain what was happening next door with the noises, but I'm not really a believer in ghosts myself. It was a bit creepy, but I'm more of an alien guy. But if you are into ghosts and all that paranormal stuff, these are not.
As one viewer put it, I believe this man did truly have a ghostly encounter. On September 10th, 2019, Brenner and his friends Dan and Jaden from Uncharted Travel explored the decaying Gundry Glass-Ass Children's Asylum in southwest Baltimore, a location steeped in history and horror. Once a sanctuary for vulnerable kids, the asylum was shuttered after disturbing reports of abuse. Now, it stands abandoned, crumbling, and, according to locals, haunted.
But I don't think you can really get out.
Yeah, I don't think it would be clean.
Huh?
There's a way, doors here.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Somebody really,
Yeah, they busted that open. Damn, this place is old.
As twilight fell, the group stepped inside. The air was thick with black mold and history. Everything from rusted medical equipment to broken toys lay untouched, frozen. But it wasn't just the mold that choked the air, it was something else entirely.
there's an interesting find in here, and it's fresh. Like
Oh, it
fresh.
smells.
Yeah, look on the floor.
Is that a cat?
Yeah, it's fresh.
Oh my. Oh, I wonder. It just came in here.
It's
Probably
got
got
collar.
trapped. So
No,
it's
there's
some.
a window over there
Oh.
that's open.
Oh, it reeks though. But
Yeah,
that's
I couldn't
sad.
figure. I didn't notice it at first. I was walking around it, and I was like, it smells like fish in here, and I couldn't. I thought.
Then they found it, a dead cat. Freshly deceased, lying on the floor of one hallway. It hadn't begun decomposing, and no windows were open.
Is there like a children's room or something, or like a testing room or something? Damn, this upstairs with all like the lead paint peelies. Oh, what is this? Another staircase leading up? There's a skylight. Okay, I'm gonna finish with this wing though first. Look at the tile. I think this was.
But the fear didn't stop there. A door that had previously been wide open was now mysteriously closed. No one touched it. No draft. No explanation. Then came the soft thud of something moving upstairs. A timer on an old jacuzzi suddenly started ticking on its own. And then the dolls, those unsettling porcelain figures, were no longer where they had been moments before.
Oh no, it's a timer. What the? Did you wind up this timer? What the hell? That was for a jacuzzi, it says right there, there's the instructions. Did you wind up the thing for the jacuzzi?
There's a jacuzzi?
This thing was going off right here.
Which?
This was, well no, because this was wound up and it was making a noise like that.
The group began questioning whether they were truly alone. Then another dead cat, this time placed neatly with a flower. And that same inexplicable door, it creaked open in front of them, on camera. Brenner and his team froze. Dan, wide-eyed, swore he heard a woman's voice echoing faintly down the halls.
Pretty sure I would have known if I kicked a doll.
There was no way I kicked it.
I mean, I'm going to have to review the footage, but I'm pretty sure that that doll was up there.
There's no way I kicked it 2 feet.
This is where we should do it.
Do you hear the woman? Do you hear the woman again?
Let's go grab...
But that door's moving though. So that's also a hot spot.
the place is haunted.
This last clip sadly doesn't have audio, but I thought it would be a good include just because I had to sit alone in the doll room in the dark while Dan and Jaden went to go get something that Dan had forgot downstairs in the foyer. So what's the deal with the Gundry Sanitarium?
With their nerves unraveling, they decided to leave. But as they exited, they could not shake the eerie feeling that something had followed them. They came in expecting decay. They got a night in a place that clearly didn't want them there.